Thank you for these beautiful people. Thank you for the influence that we're about to give to our viewers. And we ask that you guide and deliver us that Jesus' name. Amen.
Welcome to another episode of Uncensored Realness. I'm your boy Greg.
It's Tiffany.
And we got a special guest today, Miss Sarah Marshall.
Hi.
Realtor Guru.
Okay, so basically today we're just going to discuss market trends. We're going to discuss the home buying process. We're going to discuss everything that gets you from A to Z in your transaction. Real estate.
Real estate.
And that's just it. A lot of people think that the idea of real estate is so far-fetched, or because it's not something that they see every day, they don't even think about, how easy it really could be to get into the industry. And so, that's why I'm happy to join with you guys today and just kind of have a conversation and, help people bring their dreams to life and, just shed light on real estate in the industry.
All right, so first things first, we're going to touch base on what's better, renting or buying a home.
Most definitely purchasing a home, owning your own home is an asset. It builds generational wealth in your family for years and years to come. Now, there are a lot of pros and cons with purchasing, but the overall long-term goal is obtaining assets which you can leverage your money to do a lot other things than you could versus just renting. Unfortunately, the price of rent does go up every year. I know a lot of you see, if you live in somewhere consistently years after years, you get that little notice in the mail. They're like, oh, it's going up. You can either take it or you got to go, So, and that's the rental change yearly like that is based on the market. So let's just say the cost of building materials go up. That's going to cost the market value to go up too as well. And so for people that are on the investing side of real estate, which are people who are purchasing homes for you to rent out, they have to make sure that they're, seeing a profit on their investment, which is why the rent does go up, to make sure that they're ahead and not behind. They're not having a loss, basically, from their investment. The cons of owning your own home, though, is it's a lot of work. If anything goes wrong, you're fully responsible for it. 9 times out of 10, that's a 30-year commitment that you have to pay off this mortgage. And if your roof goes bad, if you need to replumb your home, those are the things that, it's a lot of money involved. Everything from the beginning process of your deposit to owning your home for the long run, there's still always a lot of money that has to go into your purchase.
Do you have to work with a broker, or as a real estate agent, can you just do it on your own?
Okay, so as a real estate agent, yes, you do have to hang your license with a brokerage, just like any other insurance, or you have to hang your license with somebody who's going to take that liability and facilitate business. So you do work for your own self, you do run your own business however you would like to, but your broker basically just make sure that your guidelines are being followed, they cover you legally, and they keep all of your records for you.
And having your license, is that just a state thing, or can you get your license in Florida and sell a house in California?
It's definitely state to state, requires their own licensure. Some states allow you to what's the term called again? Where basically you can sell and buy in that community, but you also have to take their state test in order to qualify to do that.
And do you find it easy?
No. This is not easy. Nowhere, way, shape, or form. It's a lot of man hours. It's a lot of running around. And again, you only get paid once you close a deal. So to close a deal typically is 30 to 45 days. And anything can happen in that 30 to 45 days. So no, it is not easy at all. Everything from having to get your own clients to, making sure that the process of making sure all your paperwork is together, keeping your buyer or your seller with you through the whole process. It's not easy at all.
So the fact that it takes like 30 to 45 days sometimes, right? Do you usually take on multiple clients at a time, or multiple homes at a time?
Yes, most definitely. Now, again, 2 to 3 clients a month is doable by yourself. But when you're closing 10, 20 deals a month, you definitely need a transaction facilitator that's going to make sure that nothing's getting lost through the cracks as far as paperwork, things getting signed, documents need to be turned in, because when you get to that underwriting, underwriting are the ones that say yay or nay. That if you don't have everything perfect for underwriting, that's it for you. So yeah, you definitely want to get yourself hire transaction coordinator if you're working more than like 5 deals a month by yourself.
So what has been your favorite part about being a realtor?
My favorite part about being a realtor is naturally I'm a helper. I love helping people. I thoroughly enjoy, helping someone make their dreams come true. And my favorite part is going into the homes and just seeing all the beautiful designs that people come up with, because so many people decorate their homes differently. And honestly, that's my favorite part. I just like seeing, the end result of people's work. So, and then finding the dream home, the perfect home for someone's family, and making their dreams come true. A lot of people think that they can't even purchase a home when, it kind of really is easy. So that's my favorite part.
So what advice would you have for low class income who wants to buy a house or can afford to buy a house right now at this moment?
My advice is, and that's just it, like pretty much as long as you have income coming in, anyone can purchase the home. So when you're going to apply for a loan, what they're looking for is your income and your debt to income ratio and how much your monthly expenses are. So even if you're someone that makes $800 a month, if you really don't have any monthly expenses and your credit is up to par, you could qualify for a loan. Now, the amount of loan you may qualify for may not be enough to buy you the dream home that you want. It may be just enough to maybe either buy you a piece of land, or maybe get you into a home that's in a foreclosure situation. But pretty much anyone can qualify to purchase a home as long as they have good credit and they have good income. And then, of course, I know the struggle is real, being, from check to check and having to maintain all of your daily expenses, but saving is very important. So even if it's just $20 a month, it may take you longer to have some deposit money, but the main thing is that you're putting something away. So if you could be disciplined in yourself to just say, okay, I want to save X amount of money for a year, and if I do that, that should give me at least $20,000. That's a good amount of money for a deposit. There's a lot of first-time home buyer programs where they'll give you your deposit money.
Mm-hmm.
You just got to show that, again, you have good habits of saving and paying your bills on time and a steady income, and they will give it to you. So that's what I would suggest for lower income families.
I saw some on your social media page about getting a home for $1,000 actually how?
Yes.
What's that about?
So new construction is a hot thing. It's kind of similar to purchasing a new car. You walk into the dealership, you're going to get a better interest rate. They're basically giving you 3 years of servicing. They're giving you all these incentives to purchase a new car. So it's the same thing with new construction homes. So the builders provide the financing basically. And that's how you're allowed to get that incentive. They say, hey, if you do your financing through us, you give us $1,000 down and we'll finance this for you. And that's pretty much all there is to it. Now, of course, they're gonna have like maybe a little higher interest rate or something like that, but it is doable to be able to get into a new construction home with $1,000 down.
So I have a question. Do you think it's better for a someone to buy land and a home and make their own home, or is it better to go through a builder with real estate to buy a home?
So when you build your own home from scratch, you're going in with straight equity. You don't owe anybody anything. When you purchase a loan with someone, you have this debt hanging over your head, and you got to pay it off before you start getting that equity into your home. So, but you're always also going to save when you build your home from scratch too, because of course the builders, they're in it for a profit. So they're going to spend $150,000 to build this home. Then they're going to want to make $100,000 off of that. So that's why you're seeing the prices really of homes 250, 300. If you were to build it yourself, you'll probably spend 150K. You could build a really decent home for yourself. So if you're able to build your own home from scratch, I would recommend doing that. It's just not as easy as you think, because you got to have contractors, you got to be dealing with Home Depots and picking out the right materials and staying on the job to make sure that everybody else is doing their job. So there is a lot of work that goes into building your own home. You may be digging and run into something, you're like, oh, I don't know what this is. So those are the pros and cons of buying your own home versus purchasing a home that's already built.
So would it be better to buy the land first and then build on the land?
Most definitely. Attaining land, let's just say you purchase a piece of land. Well, first of all, it's easy to get a piece of land finance over a home. And a lot of finance companies are giving you 50% of the price of the land. So you could get a decent piece of property for $20,000 and only have to spend $10,000 on that, and you got the other $10,000 financed. And you keep that over time. Now, before you build your home, there's so many things that you could do on your piece of land. If you wanted to have different vendors come out and sell their products and you charge a vending fee. If you want to bring your own liquor trunk or whatever thing, like little parties, gatherings, and get together, there's a lot of things that you could utilize your land for to gain profit before you start building your home. Yeah, so you could hold on to it. And then another thing too is like the way the market changes so crazy. You purchase a piece of land today, next year that piece of land could be triple its value, and you make a profit that way. And you could sell and buy another piece of land and just keep doing that, or you could build on it and take your time to build on it as you go.
That's great advice.
Yes.
That is good time.
So, right now, with everything that's going on, would this be a good time to buy a home? Or
So a lot of people are like, it's the worst time to buy. The values of home are way overpriced than they should be. That's the main argument. But then when we look at the interest rate, this is the lowest interest rate that we've ever seen to purchase a home right now. So when you think about over a long 30-year term of a low interest rate, you're actually saving on that home versus buy a home for $300K with a higher interest rate. You're definitely still paying more than $350 for that home. So it is a good time to buy right now. It's just okay. So everything has to be sold at market value. So a buyer, let's just say there's a community of homes and 5 homes in the neighborhood sold for $275,000,
mm-hmm.
and they're all built in the same year, same time, but one home, maybe they added on another bedroom. Another home, maybe they had a pool. And another home, maybe they only had the 2-bedroom plan versus the 4-bedroom plan. These things impact the market value of the home. So the home in the neighborhood that had the most remodeling done and the most bedrooms and the pool and everything fancy, that owner might say, hey, I want to sell my home for $325. Even though all the other homes in the neighborhood have sold for $275, technically he's supposed to be selling his home at market value at the $275 because that's what the value is in the community. So it's up to the buyer if they want to say, okay, I like everything that you've done and I really want this home. This works perfect for my kid's school or whatever, and they'll pay that $325. but technically they're supposed to still be you're supposed to sell a home at market value. You can't just make up any random price. It's what's going in the community.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. So that's what's going on right now, because a lot of people are moving in. A lot of cash buyers have the cash flow. That's what's driving the market value up, because people are coming in and buying these homes cash. So then the people that say, oh, I need financing to get into this, or I want to have an inspection period done because financing requires an inspection period, their offer is not getting accepted over the person who's coming in saying, hey, I got cash, I'm ready to close in 2 weeks. A buyer is going to be like, oh, I want that cash deal, I want my money now. So that's what's driving up the market. There's no inventory.
Gotcha. Now, on the average, yearly, how many homes do you sell? Or try to, what's your goal? Your goal number you try to sell a year?
Okay, so I'm not mainly concerned with volume, because I want to get into luxury real estate. I've had my license. I got my license during COVID, thank God, because it gave me an opportunity to just
sit down
and be still and study. Because Lord knows that test was not nice. That test was horrible. So it took me, like, before COVID happened, I sat down for my class or whatever, and I took the test, but I failed it like 3 times, and I was just like, I was doing too much. So then COVID happened. I was able to sit down and really study, and I passed my test during COVID. But because of nobody wanting to show homes or anything like that, I didn't actually really get to start doing real estate until 2021.
Correct.
And you don't just jump into luxury real estate. It's all about who you know, right?
Mm-hmm.
So ideally, yes, I want to be selling 20 to 30 homes maybe a year. I'm just being like, what's the word I'm gonna use? Like, I'm just giving myself credit that I'm a new realtor, because there's people that have been in the game. You know what I'm saying? Those are the ones you're going to see closing 40 to 60 deals a year like nothing. I'm not, putting that pressure on myself. But I want to I'm sorry?
40 to 60 homes a year?
Yeah. It's crazy. And again, it's all about who you know, right?
I think where it's at too.
Yeah. Location and that too. And Orlando is growing like tremendously. People are moving from all over because they want to be in the Sunshine State. All the parks are here. And believe it or not, Central Florida has pretty good prices for their homes. South Florida, forget it, it's overpriced. But Central Florida has so much rural areas to develop, and you could do that for a good price, affordable price for a lot of people to move. But I personally want to get into luxury real estate. So now my volume is not going to be as much. I'm not going to be selling, I'm not saying I'm not. Let's just say I'm sell 40 high luxury homes, what I'm saying. But I'm not expecting to be closing so many deals, because you're dealing with $1 million properties at that point.
Right.
And then getting into commercial and all that stuff, those deals take longer to close. There's a lot more that goes into it. So, yeah. That's where I'm moving into it.
Did you know that you always wanted to be a real estate agent?
Not at all. Not at all. I'm island. My family comes from a Jamaican background. Every island parent is like nurse, doctor, lawyer, so you're programmed to, go to school and then work a good job and all that stuff. And I did do that. I had a medical background, and I loved what I was doing. And I was able to make money to pay the bills, kind of live comfortably, but I was miserable. I was like, I can't be locked in on a 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, and so that's what made me start thinking, what can I do? Because I never really thought about business. We don't really do business in our family. Everyone just has these, these high jobs or whatever, high paying jobs. And I just started doing my research, and I noticed that every single successful person has real estate in their portfolio. So that's what prompted me to get into because it's not about business. It's about attaining real estate to business. When you look at Chick-fil-A, McDonald's.
Repeat that for the people in the back.
Real, it's not about doing business. It's about obtaining real estate to facilitate your business.
That part.
Yeah, Chick-fil-A and all these people, they're not worried about selling burgers. They're worried about putting up a brick and mortar spot in every corner that they can, because that's an asset that they have, and they use that money to leverage to build up more. Yeah, the burgers and the fries is nice, but they're making their money off that real estate. And that's why I say every successful person, they got real estate in their portfolio.
Gotcha.
Mm.
Oh. You get about 2-3 buildings in it.
I thought about getting a Chick-fil-A until like it said you had to work there to be like an owner.
For real?
And I was like, yeah. I was like, I mean, I support that, I respect that.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, I'm like, I don't want to have to keep on resorting back to my restaurant just to like, work there every once a week or whatever the case. You feel me?
He's crazy. You gotta be real better
So-
than that Chick-fil-A. It's crazy.
Yeah, they say they only take like maybe 20 applications out of like 2,000.
Yes.
So how do you use the internet, social media to sell your home? Or brand yourself?
I gotta do better with that, man. Like, okay, to be honest with you, you're really not gonna get business from your social media. But what your social media platform allows you to do is to be in front of people's face.
Mm-hmm.
So that way, when they are in need of something, they're gonna think of you, or they're gonna tell someone, hey, But the likelihood of you closing deals from social media is not really it. So I mainly I purchase leads, and that's the stuff that people don't see behind the scenes. It's a lot of door knocking. It's a lot of calling.
So that's how how do you find people?
That's how I get my customers. Door knocking. Like, there was a period that I even door dashed so that I could drop my business cards off, have conversations with people, and that's just how you got to do it. You got to either pay for your leads. It's all about who you know, who you connect with. So I don't really do my social media presence like I want to, because it just takes so much energy to put together that good content that keeps people, wanting to, follow you and keep engaged with you. But
Right.
I'm working on it. I'm working on that.
So how do you stay organized to make sure that you make it to every appointment or always on time?
Baby. Well, time is something that you do strive for, but unfortunately, things do delay you. So the best way to do that is to underbook yourself, because let's just say you have a customer and they want to see 4 homes for that day. And you go to one home and it's easy breezy. You get in perfectly fine. They view the home, in and out, bam. But then you get to the next home and the electronic lock box isn't working, or turns out somebody is in the home and they didn't get enough time to, be out so you could do the showing. So there's always little things that happen on the road. So the best way to avoid, being late is to just plan ahead like that, and be more sure about what you're doing basically. And you really have to schedule out your time more specific. Like, these 2 hours I'm going to spend working on my email list. These 2 hours I'm going to spend making my flyer. These 2 hours I'm going to call and follow up on all my leads that I spoke to. So you really do have to stay on top of being intentional with your time.
So does ethnicity make it hard at all?
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. My broker, yes, ethnicity does make it hard, because there's so many factors that go into that. A lot of people think that you don't even really deserve, to be handling certain things. A lot of people think that you don't even have the knowledge to do certain things. And then, it's just race, period. Like, even though they say those days are over, it's still modern, it's still current. We still faced with this on a day-to-day matter. Yes, it is. But all I care about is being my best self, and what's for me will come to me. Because it's a people person business. The only time someone's going to do business with you is if they like you. That's first and foremost. Most of the time, it doesn't even really matter what you know. They got to like you first. You got to be personable first, and then you also got to be able to provide a service. So I just be me, and whatever comes to me comes to me.
Right. I like that.
So do real estate take up most of your time during the day?
Oh yeah, it takes up my whole life.
Wow.
It literally takes up I told you, like, there's so much that goes into it. You gotta be calling people, you gotta be going to networking events, you gotta be doing open houses, like you just, and there's no such thing as the weekend off. Like, I'm literally always working, whether it's emails, doing home searches, sending them out, buyers presentations for new clients. Like, you're always taking a call, you're always going to do something. Like, it's never ending. There's no such thing. Now, this is just me because I'm in the beginning, but when you've made it, then you could be a little more like I know some realtors, they only work Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday through Monday.
That's them 40
Yeah, that's when
Six
you
figures,
yeah.
7 figures.
So at this point, you have your own office, and you got a team of people that's facilitating. One person knows how to talk to people, the other person knows how to make sure the documents. Like, that's when that team comes in. But I'm not there yet, so I'm wearing the one hats for everything right now.
So with real estate taking up most of your life, what do you do in your free time? Whatever free time you have.
Okay. So do you feel like, so since it does take up most of your time, like, do you feel like you're able to have like your own family and stuff like that, you know, since you would be out on go a lot?
Balance is definitely important to me. Yes, I do have children, but they do go to school. So my mornings, I wake up earlier than them. So in my mornings, I wake up, I meditate because I have to do that. I deal with people all day long, different energies. So I have to balance myself. So I meditate, I check my emails, and I just review my schedule, see if there's any tweaks that I need to make. And then I get my workout in. And by this time, my kids are just getting up. So I'm waking them up. We're spending time talking, laughing. We're making something to eat together. And then they're off to school. Luckily, my kids are older now, so they're pretty self-sufficient. Typically, I have dinner made, so like they have food. When they come home, they know how to help themselves warm up. I give them things to do to keep them busy. So I make them, first of all, they got to do their chores. And second of all, I make them work on things that they're interested in to like develop the skills and character now, because it's never too young, you know what I'm saying, to start. So by the time everybody's done doing all that, it's time for bed again. And then there are times I try to, like, once every 3 months, take a trip. So I shut everything down, and then we're just literally just having family time. But my son's very active in sports, and so is my daughter. So between all those schedules, like, everyone's pretty busy, and we find good balance in that. That's cool.
Oh, my bad. I was hitting. I was focused.
Like, dang, right? You know, okay.
Yeah. It's like,
I used to think about being a real estate agent.
And then?
I like to be on go. I like to be on go. And I mean, I'm in a sense, a people person, like, I get along with a lot of people, but I don't know if that's what I exactly like want to do, like, I love homes and stuff like that. I love interior, exterior, that stuff, I'm into it, but I feel like, I don't know, there's just something else that I need to do, you know what I mean?
Well, I would definitely tap into that, because when it gets hard, your passion behind something is what carries you through. Right. So maybe it's something you could do part-time. You don't have to go hard in it, you know what I'm saying? You could just gradually, casually do it while you focus more on something else,
So, like, the companies that are, like, on, let's say Indeed or whatever, and let's say it's, like, a company that sells home, like Keller or whatever, I don't know, whatever they're called. And they say you can get your training through them. Do you think that that's, like, thorough and accurate as, like, you doing it by yourself?
So all these brokers do claim that they're going to train you and da-da-da-da-da, but nobody's holding your hand. Like, literally, nobody's going to hold your hand. They're going to give you material that you can look at and learn, and you got to self-help. Now, of course, if you have, like, specific questions, you're supposed to be assigned to a mentor that's going to be able to answer you and help you with those questions. But as far as, like, telling you what you need to do to make your business successful. Nobody's going to do that for you. You got to just trial and error it out. For real, for real.
Okay.
So it's better to do it yourself rather than going to school.
Well, you have to. You have to do 63 hours, I think is what it is. You have to sit through that 63-hour course. You have to pass that course exam, and then you have to pass your state exam. Then once you pass your state exam, that's when you apply, to the, I can't even remember the department that handles all the professional licenses. Department.
Agriculture.
Yeah. DVPR. Child.
Now, as far as money, is it cheaper to do it yourself or go to school?
You have to pay. Yeah, you can't study by
regardless,
yourself.
You gonna end up spending the money regardless.
Oh, I've spent thousands of dollars before I even close a deal. You're going to spend money starting your business. So you have to pay for your course. Most courses are like $450. Like you can't just study and take the state exam. You have to pay through. You have to study through a school. So you got to pay for the school first. You got to pay for the test.
Which is?
You got to pay for your fingerprints. You got to pay for your application. I think the application was like $125. The fingerprinting is like $80, depending on where you go.
Right.
The school course is like $450.
And the exam is separate.
Yeah, and then you got to pay for the exam every time, which I think is like $45. If you don't pass it, yeah, you got to keep paying for it every time. So that's that. Then once you actually get your license, now you then have to register with an MLS. MLS is what gives you access to everything on the market. You have to pay for that. That's like, I think I paid $1,300 for that. And then when you hang your license with a broker now, you got to pay monthly for that. Yes, I pay $80 a month for my broker, but to be fair, they give me everything that I need. So if I need to print, I can print anything that I need. So you're still saving technically versus if you had to buy your own printer.
Like subscription.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's a subscription basically. I have a location where I can meet my clients, the office. I don't have to pay no overhead costs and none of that. And like just everything that you need is at the office, and your signs and all that to do your open houses and all that good stuff. They give you some, but you still got to buy your signs. That could get pretty expensive because in order to have good marketing when you're doing your open house, you want to put out a lot of signs. You have to get an electronic lockbox. They're $200 a piece. You want to have at least 2 of them. Yes. You got to do your headshots, and then you got to buy leads. Leads, $1,000. Yeah, you got to spend $1,000 for your leads, and yeah, it's a lot of money that goes into it before you really start making money. And it's just like any other business. There's no business going to start that doesn't require you to invest your own money and time.
And time.
Yeah. So that's the thing about it.
Now, are you working under or with a company, or you have your own?
Yes, I do have to hang my license with a broker, and I'm with Cobra Banker. Yeah, so I'm my own business entity, Sunshine Central Estates.
Say that again.
Sunshine Central Estates.
All right.
But yes, I do have to facilitate and do all of my transactions under a broker. Yes.
So overall, do you like being a real estate agent?
I love being a realtor, but again, I think investing is really what I want to do. Yes, I am a people person, but it's a lot to have to maintain relationships because everyone's not ready to buy right then and now. Everyone's not ready to sell right then and now. So for those people, you got to be in their face all the time, and that's the part that becomes very draining. Mm-hmm. So, and it's a lot of running around, it's a lot of paperwork, and I like doing all of that, but you will get burnt out. So my end goal, another reason why I got into real estate is because I have other big projects that I want to do for myself that require the capital. So I'm like, what's the quickest way that I could get large amounts of money? I'm like, oh, okay, real estate, and close the deal and get $8,000, $10,000, $20,000 checks.
That's clutch.
You know what I'm
saying? And you know, okay.
Yeah. So that's why I'm really doing the real estate. But as far as being a real estate agent until I retire, no. But hopefully the brand will build itself to a point where I just have customers piling in and I have a team that's making my job easy for me. But when you have to do everything, you will burn out. And unfortunately, that's the nature of the business when you start off. You just got to do it.
You ever took on more than one customer at a time?
Oh, yeah.
So you burn yourself out?
Oh, yeah.
Usually how many do you do?
You do get to set your own schedule to say, okay, I want to work with this amount of people. But again, that 30 to 45 days, anything can happen. So let's just say you only focus on 2 customers and you think you're about to get a check in 45 days and then you get the underwriting and like I'll give you an example. I had a customer and it was a veteran loan. So I'm like, oh, she's in the bag. She's going to get all that. You know what I'm saying? Child boo. We get to underwriting and in the beginning process, the person who gave her pre-qualification letter did not pay attention to the fact that she had a bankruptcy on her credit report. I guess she must have answered no. So he didn't bother to do his due diligence. So we get to underwriting now, like 10 days before closing. I'm like, yes. And it was a new construction deal, so I'm about to get a fat check. Like between her and then new construction, they give you kickbacks too as well. And sure enough, they call me up and they're like, oh, she has a bankruptcy, loan denied. So if I would have focused my time just on this one customer that I thought I had, then I'm out of a check. You get what I'm saying? And then now I'm trying to hustle and bustle myself to work another deal to make up for that. So it's always a good idea to be constantly working on clients because, again, not everybody's not ready to buy and sell. And that 30 to 45 day window before you actually close, anything can happen. So that's why I do burn myself out by making sure that I'm constantly taking in new clients, constantly doing showings, and constantly doing open houses because if I don't work, I ain't get,
So as a veteran with the $0 down policy, how do you guys get paid for that?
So we get paid because in the contract.
Okay.
So even though they have 0 down payment and they get 100% financing, it's still in the person's home that they're selling. They have agreed that they're going to pay a commission for that sale of their home. So that's how I get my commission. And then it's tied in like from the buyer, basically. I brought the buyer, so I'm getting that commission from the seller.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where can these beautiful subscribers and viewers find you on social media? Since you don't be on there like you're supposed to be.
Like I said, I promise y'all, I really need to, because it's education. And
right.
That's the part that really does make a difference in people's lives. Because again, a lot of people don't think that they can purchase when they really can. And that's because they don't have the knowledge on it. So I promise I am going to start putting together content, tracking my days so people can really see what's going on. But you can find me on Instagram, Sunshine Central Estates, and Facebook for now. That's it.
One more time.
On Instagram, Sunshine Central Estates, and Facebook.
And of course, you can find me, Uncensored Realness _Andre. And Miss Simone.
It's t.simone007 for right now on Instagram.
And thank you for having me, guys. This was great. I'm looking forward to doing it.
Shy, you're moving too fast, Shy, because I was just about to say
Dang.
thank you.
I was about to thank her for the knowledge.
Exactly. Learned a lot tonight.
Whole time.
Like, you want to move fast? You trying to get up out of here?
Look, when y'all see buying lots of land, all right? Don't say that. Don't say that.
You are dismissed.
Guess what? It's leverage. Now you
Yeah.
have that money. You could take that money back out and get something else.
Right,
You know
right.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Always obtain an asset if you can.
Well, definitely appreciate you. Know you're a busy realtor.
That's facts.
So taking the time out to come down and sit and spit some knowledge with us is greatly appreciated.
You're very much welcome,
Yeah.
guys.
I know we're gonna have a part 2 of this real soon with another guest that you're bringing.
Yes.
So,
I would definitely love to bring my preferred mortgage lender. He is amazing, especially with helping low-income families, making their dreams come true, giving them funding to purchase their homes. And not only that, he's also getting ready to start his own bank, basically his own mortgage company. So,
that's what's up.
that's definitely giving back to our community. We'll be able to reach a lot more people and change a lot more people's lives with that. So I'm proud of him. So definitely like to bring him on board.
I appreciate that knowledge. I've absorbed it like a little sponge. So, I mean, I'm going to definitely do a little more research on that too and maybe get a hold of some things, you know?
That's what's up. Well, once again, this has been Uncensored Realness. I'm your boy Dre.
That's it for me.
It's Miss Marshall in the building.
Big talk, big vibes, man. We'll catch y'all on another episode.
Peace. God.
Oh,
That
they
was
recorded the
fun.
whole time.